Day, and air traffic controllers will also join the protest on Thursday. So as the week progresses, the disruption will increase. Well, I'm joined by Dr. Ashok Kumar, who's a fellow at Queen Mary University of London. Good to see you. Good morning.
Thanks, Alex.
So first of all, these laws, are they almost there in terms of becoming a reality, or is there still a way to go?
Well, Hollande and his party have effectively used emergency measures to ram it through, to circumvent Parliament, and now there's a vote potentially of the only mechanism to prevent this is through a censure vote. And so that's yet to be seen, but it's probably not going to pass.
I mean, it's been going on for months and months and months, this whole attempt to reform labour law in France, and yet it's been incredibly difficult. What do you think the likely outcome will be in the end? Some sort of fudge?
Well, it's very difficult to say. You know, in 2006, they passed a series. They passed a series of laws called the CPE laws to deregulate labour in the country. It was a milder version of this. And there were mass protests in the street, and they reversed that decision. And right now what we see is, you know, 2/3 of the country oppose this law. A majority of the country support the protesters. And Hollande is the most unpopular sitting president in the history of France. So it's really hard to say. And I think people recognize on the streets that there's a very high possibility or potential for the reversal of this decision.
And what evidence is there to show that reform of labour laws help to boost economic growth and also reduce the unemployment levels, which in France are pretty high?
Well, I think the evidence is pretty tenuous, to be honest. I mean, if you look at from 2007 to now, unemployment in France has increased by 30%. Now, in that time and before that time, it had nothing to do with flexibilizing the labor market. It was actually two events that occurred. It was financial crisis and it was austerity. And those two could be a greater impetus rather than duality and flexibility or rigidity of the labor market, which they suggest it is, and the generous social benefits, which in fact have absorbed economic shocks more than anything.
I mean, in Spain, for example, they have changed their labour laws, probably under pressure from others, but they've done that. To what extent does it help Spain?
Well, in 2012, like you said, Spain passed a series of laws that mirror the language of this law and the rhetoric that was used about how it was going to change, increase investment, increase employment. In fact, unemployment has remained negligible since then. You've seen labor market duality further become more durable, and actually precariousness and short-term contracts and casualization go up.
All right. It's very difficult, as we can tell. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, Alex.
And, of course, as the week progresses in France, we will keep you up to date on what's going on.